Welcome to PeopleSoft Now. I'm Rebecca Jackson. After 27 fantastic years with PeopleSoft, I'm retiring. It's been a pleasure to be part of what I firmly believe is the best customer community in the world, and it's been my honor to be part of this show for the last few years. Now, I'm thrilled to pass that responsibility to a long-tenured member of our shared PeopleSoft family, Dan Iverson. Dan, you've been on the show before as a guest. Let me be the first to congratulate you on your new role as host.
Thanks, Rebecca. I'm excited to be here and take over as the new host of PeopleSoft Now. I also want to congratulate you on your well-earned retirement.
Oh, thank you. Well, the show will benefit from all of your expertise and knowledge. Remind me, how long have you been working with PeopleSoft?
I've been working with PeopleSoft for over 20 years in a wide variety of roles, but in the last decade, I've had a lot of focus on the people tools and technology side, but I've always been interested in everything that made up PeopleSoft. This year, I had the chance to join the People Tools strategy group, and I'm really excited to work with all the great teams that build PeopleSoft.
We're so very lucky to have your expertise in-house now. Since I know how much our customers rely on this program to stay informed, I'm so pleased to be able to pass the mic to you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I do have one question for you, though, and it's a bit of a retrospective question. So, over the last 27 years, you have seen a lot of change in the PeopleSoft product, from the evolution from client server to web based application and so much more. After seeing those changes and what's coming down the pipe, are there any features that have stood out to you as your favorite or something that was always really exciting?
You know, as I look back over all of those years and all the technology changes and all of the features, and there have been so many fantastic ones, I have to say the one that really stands apart is selective adoption and the introduction of PeopleSoft Update Manager and the choice and flexibility that that's given our customers. That happened in just the right moment as technology was shifting and it was time to leave upgrades behind and move to a more modern way of managing software. And it's really laid the foundation for all of the features and investments that are being delivered, today. So I would have to say that's the most strategic and important thing that I've seen us do.
Yeah, selective adoption was a game changer as far as both delivering PeopleSoft and how fast we can deliver it, but also letting customers choose how quickly they can adopt those new features as well. It was a complete game changer.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited for all the new things that are going to come in the future and what you will share through this program with the rest of the community.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. Well, now it's time for a new People Tools release. PeopleTools 8.62 is now available. This episode is all about what we've delivered and how you can use it. So let's get to it. What are you excited for customers to adopt in PeopleTools 8.62?
What I'm excited for customers to implement in 8.62, there's a lot of things. So let me talk a little bit about first of all why People Tools and why People Tools releases are so important, very briefly. We have a lot of applications, we have a lot of application area, and it's hard to have broad impacts across those applications through coordinated application development efforts. So what People Tools gives us, one of the reasons why it's such a strategic investment for us in PeopleSoft, is it gives us the ability to have broad impacts across the applications with a single release. It's very hard to do that otherwise. So, I get asked why do we continue to make such large investments in People Tools, relatively large investments in People Tools? It's because we can make broad strategic application changes kind of simultaneously across all the applications. So that's the foundation and the baseline. With 8.62, what's really exciting to me is a level of kind of the shift towards a focus of productivity towards the end user and what we're going to be able to do with what I think to improve the productivity across a number of areas in PeopleSoft as it relates to the people that use the application. And specifically the area around productivity, I think that that I'm excited for everyone to see and excited for our customers to start to shift towards is this move away from the interaction model of PeopleSoft being what I would call a wall of tiles, where when you log in and the screens you get, the homepages you get are primarily around tiles meant for just navigation, right? Important used to be a menu, but not very strategic in terms of helping our users figure out what they need to do and doing their jobs. And so we've made a number of investments over the years to start to shift that. And specifically, one of the large areas of investments that we've made that I think has enabled us to do what we're now going to do in 8.62 is in search. And so making navigation search something that's very powerful, having RTI so that the indexes are always up to date. And so we're at a point now where we feel like search should be the primary way that our users navigate around the application. And so what that means is we can move away from the home pages being primarily around navigation and shift towards the home pages, what was the home pages, now being a way to push work at the recommendations and work at the user so that the application's helping them figure out what to do. And navigation is something that has context. And so in 8.62, the kind of one of the big features that we're introducing is what we're calling our landing page. And the landing page effectively, it does two things. One is our goal with it is to consolidate what used to be a bunch of different role-based homepages into a single page that our application users, when they log in and get to, that has very specific context to them, work they need to continue, announcements that are important for them, things like recommendations of what they should do based on the context of the application. And it's gonna highlight the kind of the most critical and most often used navigation elements, but it'll also prominently feature search, which allows them to navigate anywhere they want. One of the things we've done with the homepage or the landing page in 8.62 is we now give our customers full control over the CSS. And so for those customers who want it to look very, very different than what they look like today or what they've historically looked like with just a wall of tiles, you now have control. You can do that, and it's not a customization. We will be delivering in the applications templates, a template homepage, some sample homepages that we think that look quite different than what we have today, that are give you examples that you can use, copy, and use. But if you have your own branding and your own user experience that you feel is important for your organization, you have control over that now completely. So that's something that I'm very excited with this coming in 8.62 that I really want this. I'm going to encourage you all and encourage our customers to shift away from the traditional multiple home pages with just a whole bunch of tiles on them to something that's much more modern, much more and much more productive for the end users. So that's probably the big one because that's the most visible, and you're going to see it's going to look like a new PeopleSoft. It's going to probably be the biggest change. If you implement it, if you take this, it's going to be potentially the biggest change we've had since we introduced Fluid in terms of the way the PeopleSoft looks. So that's always exciting when we have something that's very visibly different. Along with that, there are other areas in productivity that we're going to be delivering with PeopleTools 8.62 that you'll hear about, and you'll see and some of these seem to be are in tactical areas that have a cumulatively large impact on productivity. And one specific example of that is around application prompts and lookups. So you're on a field and you want to hit a prompt to look at the values, and the prompts right now all have no intelligence around them today. It doesn't know what your context is. It doesn't know what you usually search for. That changes with 8.62, and so we're going to be giving basically recommendations based on historical search patterns of what your most frequently used are, so that when you do a lookup or a prompt, the things that you usually choose are right there at the top. And so while that may not seem to be strategic, when you look at the number of times your end users have to actually click on prompts and lookups in the application, and you start to add up the time savings across all those, you're now looking at a much more productive application. And then finally, the other thing I get to be excited about a lot of things because that's my role. The other kind of area I'm really excited about is where we've started to marry our insight investments that we've made around analytics and visualizations with our work centers. Our work centers are kind of the foundational element of our application for heads down power users. And we're bringing the insights into the work centers to allow the users to use the insight visualizations to understand the work they have, to filter the work that they have, to make it faster and easier and more productive for them to actually get that work done. And when you couple that with a feature that we're coming out with in the applications called work management, which will be a really fundamental improvement and change to work centers. When you bring those two things together, 862 insights into work centers plus work management, you'll have what I'm calling Work Centers 3.0, which is really the new kind of super improved, I think fully there now version of Work Centers. So lots of areas to be excited about in 862. I think this is probably the biggest release we've had in 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years, quite a while. It's the one I'm the most excited about we've had. And it'll be very obvious that we're not done investing in PeopleSoft and we're not done investing in PeopleTools. So get out there and really please take advantage of all the investment, all the really productive and useful investments that we're making in PeopleTools 8.62.
I'm excited about landing pages. Navigation and application content in PeopleTools continues to change from menu-driven navigation to role-based fluid home pages, dashboards, navigation collections, to navigation search. We've always looked for ways to improve navigation in PeopleSoft. With PeopleTools 8.62, we have a new framework that allows us to define a single landing page with a goal of presenting relevant and important content to the user. This framework provides the ability to style individual home pages, sections, and tiles. Starting with application update images on PeopleTools 8.62, an example of a landing page will be delivered to demonstrate how these enhancements can be leveraged. The landing page example will contain several reusable sections you can incorporate into your own landing page design. For example, a suggestion section that displays tiles to access the next potential action the user should perform. A continue with section that displays tiles to access processes that are already in progress. And an announcement section that displays important notifications to your users. The styling of the sections and tiles will provide a fresh update to the overall look and feel, as well as the ability to lay out sections vertically, horizontally, or side by side in 2 or 3 columns. Check out our PeopleTools and application image highlight videos for more information on landing pages.
Well, I'm really excited for customers to adopt the new and latest enhancements that we made to our homepage architecture. We've introduced landing pages in 8.62, along with dynamic sections and the ability for customers to really control the overall layout of the landing pages themselves. The application development teams have also provided what we are calling content services to populate those dynamic sections. And we think that with all of the changes here and the styling, it really puts that web development into the control of our customers, and we're very excited to see how they use that.
I'm very happy and excited to talk through the improvements in Configurable Search. I'm sure you enjoy configuring using Manage Configurable Search at a CREF level. With 8.62, you'll be able to configure at the system level using the newly delivered page Configure Search options. This page will let you configure the field labels, search attribute labels, maximum number of search results, maximum number of recent and saved searches at a system level applicable to all CREFs. Additionally, Manage Configurable Search page has the capability to configure facet labels and to hide or unhide facets in 8.62.
I'm excited about the usability enhancements we've done with global search, primarily geared towards user productivity. In 8.62, users will see global search presented as a simple input box on the header, And when they activate search, they will see the search suggestions clearly separated into two areas, the recently visited and the other suggestions. And with recently visited, we limit that to 5. So it doesn't cover the entire suggestions area, but users can see more, see less. And in this release, they can also clear the entire recent history if they no longer wish to see that, or delete specific items from the list as well. And while search defaults to navigation, if a user wants to switch context and look at any application data, for example, in HCM, job data, personal information, or company directory, they can easily switch context while they're in the suggestions area without having to go back to the home page, select the search category, and come back, activate the search again. So there are a lot of usability enhancements that make users much more productive and also providing them a familiar search experience.
Yeah, PeopleTools has delivered a lot of new and cool features in 8.62. One such feature which I'm really excited about is My Favorite Searches. My Favorite Searches allows the users to group and centralize all their component level searches in a single place. What makes the feature great is the fact that now users don't need to go to individual components to search and look at items. They can quickly access this feature, which really enhances its appeal. The first one is that along with the search item, users get to see the search count along with it. This search count actually decides whether the search item is actionable or not. Users can also refresh the search count if they need. The other aspect is the fact that users can categorize their favorite searches and group them together in a single place. They can perform actions like creating new groups, moving items from one group to the other, or deleting a group, or perform such similar actions from a single place. Now, one more thing which the customers would like, that in a cluster environment, favorite searches are pulled from all the environments in the cluster and shown together. Easy uptake, user-level personalization, improved user interactions, and increased efficiency makes this an exciting prospect for the customer.
The feature that I'm excited about is report generation from insights. Until now, users use this insights dashboard for visualization. They can slice and dice the data till all the required filters are applied. But if they would like to generate a report out of this, if they would like to generate a PDF report, there isn't an easy way to do this. The best one can do is take a screenshot, which is not an ideal solution. So with this 8.2 feature, one should be able to convert their insights dashboards into a PDF or a PNG report. So with this feature, you will be generating this PDF or PNG report for a specific period of time, or you'll be able to send these reports as an attachment, or you can store them for a future use.
We're excited about the new customization insights, which bring the power of open search and analytics to the lifecycle management space. We are providing what we're calling the customization insights, which give you analysis and information about your customizations, how they are used, how they intersect with the maintenance being delivered by PeopleSoft in order to help you identify where your most expensive customizations are and potentially provide a pathway to optimizing those customizations through removal or re-implementation, etc.
One of the neat things that PeopleTools can provide is more context around what customizations you have and how they are impacted by maintenance. So in the customization insights that we'll be delivering, we can look at your customizations and tell you historically how many times those customizations have been impacted by maintenance. This can give you an idea of how expensive it might be to maintain that customization. Where this gets better is that we can use the latest Update Manager metadata for this analysis as well. So if your application is not on the latest image, the customization insights can show you where you will have future recustomization effort when you apply that latest image.
The feature that I'm most excited about is the interactive insights using OpenSearch dashboards. To briefly talk about it, PeopleSoft introduced insights dashboards using a homepage tile where one can see the data in a visualization, and on click of the tile it opens up in a new window where you can apply the filters and view your data. You could also do this in an application page with embedded dashboards with context-sensitive filters applied.
With this new feature, you can have a dashboard with more than one visualization in the application page, and you can interact with the dashboard. You can apply the filters straight in the page, and not just that, the filters that you have applied can get carried into your PeopleSoft elements. As an example, consider a PeopleSoft application page with a dashboard on the top and a fluid grid just below that. As you interact with the dashboard, the contents within your fluid grid gets refreshed. This way, you are interacting with the dashboard where your PeopleSoft elements are also getting refreshed.
Hi, I'm really excited about the smart dropdowns and prompts features in PeopleTools 8.62. 8.62 is already GA, and I'm sure some of you have started to work on it. This feature will bring up the most relevant values in a dropdown and prompt for users to choose. This we do by keeping track of user choices, and thus making it easier for users to pick values. Both these are available in 8.62. They are also configurable. They're configurable at the system level as well as at the user level. I hope users enjoyed using this, and we hope to see more requests in this area. Thank you.
One of the features that I would believe that all PeopleSoft administrators would be excited about is to check how PeopleTools can run containers. One of the features in 8.62 is the ability to run OpenSearch, mid-tier, and the load balancers on OK clusters in OCI. So you have the ability to run PeopleSoft containers as an application in 8.62. If you want to scale up, it's easy to scale the pods horizontally to scale up the load, which bring in a big advantage of running PeopleSoft on cloud, either it's test, dev, or production instances. You can scale and run them as an applications. We made it much easier to deploy this automation onto containers using Helm. It's pretty easy to deploy and manage and maintain. The more importantly, the important consideration is how you manage lifecycle using containers. If you have a new infrastructure DPK, you can replace those containers pretty easily using container and manage them easily. So check this out and let us know how this would work. We would look forward for your feedback.
What do you think has been an important area that we've invested in over the past few PeopleTools releases?
Well, I think we've invested and continue to invest in user experience and productivity across most of the PeopleTools areas. For user experience over the past few releases, especially 8.61 and now 8.62, we've invested quite heavily in our homepage technology. So we've optimized homepages, we've introduced sections to the homepages, we've done a lot of work with respect to performance in terms of loading and refreshing homepages. Beginning with 8.62, we introduced dynamic sections, giving customers the ability to lay out those homepages and what we're now calling landing pages. The application development teams have also provided content services into those dynamic sections. We feel like all of those improvements will really give our customers a very modern and streamlined user experience when it comes to homepages and landing pages. On the productivity side, we continue to invest in our lifecycle tools and cloud manager across the board. We've introduced some new insights with LCM beginning in 8.62. We feel that this will really give the management teams at our customer sites the ability to really identify customizations and continue to decide and make decisions on whether they want to remove those customizations, etc. Cloud Manager continues to invest in more and more sophisticated productivity capabilities. We've been focusing primarily on production level environments for our customers over the past couple of Cloud Manager releases, and we're going to continue to do that moving forward.
The search framework has been an area we've invested in heavily over the past few releases. Earlier, I spoke about some of the usability enhancements we've done to make users more productive and provide them a familiar user experience. And from an administrative perspective, we've done so many things like configurable search, which makes it easier for administrators to configure different types of search for components, as well as not incur any customization costs at the same time. And we've done tremendous amount of improvements from a performance point of view for indexing, especially to do with full indexing, where we provided a lot of parallel processing options. With real-time indexing also, we've done, first of all, bringing that into the equation and making it perform better. And with this release, we're providing support, enhanced support for horizontal scaling. And lastly, when we talk about search and real-time data, we have to talk about insights as well, which is derived off of search. And we've heard others talk about various embedding options that we've provided over multiple releases. And with this release, we're making those embedded insights interactive, which means in the application context, you can interact with these insights, and also those filters get passed back into the application context. So the insights become much more cohesive in terms of how they operate with application data. And this is an area we've invested a lot, and we'll continue to invest in the future also.
Over the last decade, PeopleSoft has introduced many tools to help you configure the application to work the way you need it instead of relying on pure customizations. So the customization insights being delivered in the 8.62 application update images is an extension of that direction. It will allow customers to better understand the value of their existing customizations, the cost to maintain those, and to help identify areas where you might want to leverage the configuration tools instead of relying on customizations. We're also making investments in getting PeopleSoft to run on new technologies that can simplify patching, scaling, and deploying environments. So in PeopleTools 8.61, we introduced support for running PeopleSoft in container-based environments. And now in 8.62, we're extending that support to support Oracle Kubernetes Engine, or OKE. OKE is a production workload Kubernetes environment for your container-based applications. That means that you can now run PeopleSoft with all the advantages that Kubernetes provides. So, as you've heard, PeopleTools 8.62 is a great release, and those are the highlights from our perspective. Of course, there's a lot more that we didn't cover. Check out the highlight videos and release notes for the full list of capabilities. We can't wait to hear what you think as you uptake PeopleTools 8.62. Now, stay tuned for your In the Know update.
Good Sparky.